Hey, beauties. Good morning to you. All right, beautiful people. So, I am like 2 hours in the Prime Minister's speech. I want to listen to it in its entirety, and then I'm going to have to listen to Mark Golden's speech as well, that I missed. Because I want to hear what both individuals or both people stated, as it relates to the country, moving the country forward. Now, somewhere during the presentation of the Prime Minister thus far, in what I've listened to, he stated that the JLP government, they listen to the people and they learn because they're a caring government, a responsible government. And when I heard that, he said, he repeated it. He said, we're listening and it's about listening and learning. We listen and we learn. And there was some papa man that he's, said, I want to talk to the Prime Minister, and it got, air with the Prime Minister. And I think he was at the sitting house, during the Prime Minister's speech on March 21, 2024. Prime Minister, even when JLP was not in government, when they were on the other side, the opposition side, I'm sure that you have heard the cries of the public sector workers about low wages, low salaries. I know you mentioned that throughout successive governments, whether PNP or JLP, that when they do wage increases 2 years later, they're about because of fiscal irresponsibility. So, for lack of a better term, they end up having to have a wage freeze. And I've given reasons as to why this would have happened. One, you have brain drain. You have very low-skilled people, low-educated people. We are at 138th place as it relates to literacy. People are not good financial managers. Let us put it that way. So it all goes back to in terms of skill, competency, ability, education, training. It's not even promulgated where people do retraining because life is not stagnant. Life is about change. So what in yesteryears, it's not going to be the same for today. Things have changed and things are changing. There is transformation taking place, whether you like that. That is one thing that is constant. And if people don't keep abreast with reality, with life, and with the moving or the motions of life, they're going to be left behind stagnant, like gangrene water, like stagnant water on the ground. And that's a major part and parcel as to why the economy isn't booming and boosting the way it should be, where increase constantly comes in, so that we don't have wage freezes. So that we do not have wage freezes. There are a lot of misfits in a lot of positions. People who shouldn't be managers, directors, leaders, whatever you want to call them, CEOs and so on, that are there. And those who are at the lower level should have been promoted. Promotion is at an all low. We always say at an all high. Let's just say at an all low. In our country, many people are not promoted. And some who are, they're misfits. Not suitable for the position. Maybe they're suitable elsewhere, but not suitable for the position. This is something that I've heard people talk about time and time and time again. So what happens when you have misfits? You're going to have something come crashing and it's going to implode and affect our economy. So the economy will not boom, it remains stagnant. So what happened 2 years time, the uglies show, the anomalies show, and then now you realize, oh my God, we don't have enough money to maintain this consistent increase, wage increase, salary increase. So you have to put a freeze until you get things in place. You have to now hire skilled people to guide you as to what to do financially, guide you as to what to do economically, guide you as to what to do socially and all of that. Well, those plans should have been put in place. The brain drain is way too high in this country. It is way, way too high. And we still have people who suffer from, in terms of lacking emotional intelligence, lacking mental ability, lacking critical thinking skills. When you go on the World Wide Web, when you go on social media, the different social media platforms, and we can take it very simple like this. You'll be talking about the moon and everything related to the moon. Let us say it's a moon. Let us say, we're not talking about the stars, and somehow, let us say hypothetically, the stars they're not related to the moon. And somebody will come on your platform and say, and quarrel with you, have a cuss out, and ask you why you're talking about tires on cars, and your conversation is about the moon. They lack comprehension skills. They lack critical thinking skills. They're not with it. And that is because of they're not really educated. They weren't trained. They weren't taught that way. And there are a whole heap of factors that could contribute to somebody not being able to learn critically. We're not talking if you have a mental defect, like a brain defect or a physical defect that will create some challenge. We're not talking like that. We're talking about the fact that maybe people, or whether they willingly or unwittingly, decided that they're not going to improve their standard of living. The people are inside their dunce. Dunceness is the order of the day. Sometimes, people who are very logical and sensible and smart are afraid to vlog because when they see the comments come in, you realize we are in problems and you wonder why 2 years later, whether it's PNP or GLP, after a wage increase, there is a wage freeze. Then who would want to invest in mediocrity or in something that is non-existent? We are 138th place, so naturally it would affect our economy. When you have that high level of illiteracy, dunceness, lacking critical thinking skills, lacking mental ability, lacking emotional intelligence, lacking intelligence quotient, that is being knowledgeable. If you have highly skilled, highly trained, highly educated, knowledgeable people, it will boost and boom the economy consistently. They will have sustainability, but once those factors are not there, it will affect us and it will increase and impact crime. I'm not saying it's cause and effect, but notice it. When you have very low and highly uneducated people, highly trained, highly skilled, when you have low, not highly trained, low skilled, low educated, people lacking critical thinking skills, crime and violence is high. And then the wrong people are promoted. So you have misfits, so the puzzle looks swollen. Because when you force a piece of puzzle in a piece of one of the little pieces of the puzzle in the wrong spot, it looks swollen and until it bursts open and it's not flat and looks smooth and nice. And this is a cry. You made mention of something that, all right, it's whoever is in authority need to deal with it. We have to basically stop with the blame game. It's because you are in authority, you said it. So it is about, right, so you have to, I'm glad you understand that. So it makes no sense to talk about only what the others have not done or what the others did. You said you are in authority. You said this government listens and it learns and it cares and it is responsible. Responsibility has to be shown where people are doing well, even on a basic level. The public sector workers, if once there is care, once you're listening, once prudence is a part of the puzzle or a part of the pie, then you will see it manifested in the public sector workers. They say many of them, you have low performance because of low salaries. It's a reality. Reward sweetens labor. We all know that. And you cannot have people who are highly educated, highly skilled, highly trained, taking some low clerical, low posts. And no matter how they try to get promotion, and it has nothing to do with bad attitude. Because we always talk about your attitude determines your altitude. I could say that is so true. The devil promotes people too. The devil promotes his cohorts. So he promotes people who are evil and wicked. Please know that. So you're so right. Attitude determines altitude as well. That is also true. That is also true. You're so right. I know people only use it in the positive. It's just eventually after a certain time they will come crashing down. Remember when David said, God, may not understand how the wicked just prosper, how them just reign, but I know like the evening, they will wither away. We understand that, but for the moment, sir. And you have to be careful of the seeds you sow, because if you plant corn, you will certainly not reap peas. You'll have to pay the consequences. So if you promote the wrong people, put the wrong people in certain positions, you're going to have to face the consequences. Sometimes these consequences you cannot bear. You cannot bear. So you have to be really, truly listening to the public sector workers. You have vloggers like myself who have been talking. Raise the public sector workers' salaries to 50%. Give the people their back monies, whether back money in terms of passenger mileage, salaries, whatever it is. Do the duty concession at a reasonable rate. Make people's standard of living good, that they can, buy a decent home, buy a decent car. If they want to travel the world to a certain place, they can do that. They can go to a decent supermarket without having to put back 3/4 of the things. Come on, sir, you have to do better. You guys have to do better. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message. Thank you.